Hi guys, I have today a small section of about 5 minutes recording of a book, Poison Spring by E.G. Vallianatos. That book is a groundbreaking book in my opinion, and I found it so relevant about EPA and how safety concerns of these dangerous chemicals have been overlooked to promote business interests of the biotech corporations and how pesticide after pesticide has been unleashed without proper testing, and how much harm it has done to people as well as environment. And also because it covers a section on Dr. Don Huber, who I myself have interviewed a few weeks ago, and I intend to call him up again. And although Dr. Vallianatos spent a lot of time covering Dr. Don Huber, and I've only taken a small section of it, not all of it. But I thought I'll let you all know so that you can understand how important not only Don Huber is, but also how important this book is, and how necessary it might be to keep this one in your library. So here is a short recording from Chapter 8, nearing the end of the book, on U.S. government and Don Huber.
Sure enough, in the spring of 2013, Obama signed what critics called the Monsanto Protection Act, which protects companies from being sued if their genetically modified seeds lead to health problems. Food safety groups like Food Democracy Now! Collected more than 250,000 signatures on a petition calling for the president to veto the bill. They argued that not enough is known about the possible health risks of genetically modified seeds. Eliminating the public's ability to halt the selling or planting of these seeds, the group said, was removing the one sure way of checking this hugely profitable but potentially dangerous forced march toward the genetic engineering of our food. We knew this was Bush's view, of course. State Department cables reveal that the Bush administration threatened the European Union with sanctions unless EU governments allowed the planting of Monsanto's genetically modified seeds in Europe. But the phalanx of Monsanto men and women working for Obama simply confirms that it does not really matter who presides over the White House or Congress. Corporations rule the kingdom. While still serving as Obama's Solicitor General, Elena Kagan wrote a brief requesting the Supreme Court to lift a ruling by an appeals court forbidding the planting in California of Monsanto's genetically engineered Roundup-ready alfalfa. In August 2010, Kagan was confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. She sits beside Justice Clarence Thomas, who once worked as a lawyer for Monsanto. Indeed, when it comes to genetic engineering, the Obama administration has not been better than the Bush administration, possibly worse, wrote Jeffrey Smith, an expert on the health effects of bioengineered food. The triumph of Monsanto within the government is bad for our health and bad for the environment. Let me explain further by introducing Don Huber. Don Huber knows a lot about biological weapons, and he knows a lot about plants. A retired colonel from the Army's Biological Warfare Corps, Huber taught plant diseases and soil microbiology at Purdue University for 35 years. He has also been the coordinator of the U.S. Agricultural Research Service National Plant Disease Recovery System, a program of the USDA. Of all the things he knows about biological weapons and crops, he is most concerned about the destructive effects of pesticides on the biological systems of plants. Huber worries, for example, about the effects of glyphosate, popularly known as Roundup, one of the country's most popular weed killers for both farmers and home gardeners. Glyphosate is also a powerful driver of genetic engineering. Its creator, the global conglomerate Monsanto, has bioengineered Roundup-ready soybeans, corn, and other crops to resist Roundup's killing power. For years, farmers have cleared their fields of weeds by spraying them with glyphosate and then planting Monsanto brand crop seeds that are resistant to the poison. Monsanto has been using seeds, crops, pesticides, and genetic engineering to spread its web over the entire planet, promising more food to those who buy its modified seeds and chemicals. But like other agribusiness giants, Monsanto seems blind to the harm its products cause to humans and the natural world. For example, Monsanto has convinced millions of farmers, the American government, and the European Commission that glyphosate is safe. Yet the picture is not so clear. Studies published in 2010 show glyphosate causes birth defects in frogs and chicken embryos at amounts smaller than farmers and gardeners leave in food. Older studies document other dreadful effects of glyphosate, including cancer, endocrine disruption, damage to DNA, and deleterious malformations of the reproductive, neurological, and developmental systems of animals and humans. Researchers also link glyphosate to miscarriages in humans and livestock. Monsanto and government authorities have known about the toxic effects of glyphosate since the 1980s, and both the industry and regulators have kept the public in the dark. Genetic engineering, in other words, represents imperial politics of the worst kind, aiming at no less than the control of the world's food by agribusiness.
Well, that was a very short sample of the book Poison Spring by E.G. Vallianatos. I suggest you all read it if you are really interested about this subject and you understand how deep the corruption is at EPA and how serious the problem is for the whole planet. And with that, I shall take your leave for today. Ciao.